When you're told to stand up straight, what do? A lot of the people that I work with pull their shoulder blades back, lift their chest up, and what happens is they thrust their rib cage forward and their low back arches. The problem with that is it's too much. When you are thinking about standing up taller, not everything has to be so exaggerated. It might just be a little like lift of your chest from your spine. It could be just a gentle tip in your shoulder blades like this, or it could be just gently drawing your shoulder blades in. Everyone's a little bit different and therefore needs something a little bit different. Therefore, it's really important to understand where these areas are in our body, like our shoulder blades, and what it feels like to move from one area versus the other. My name is Dr. Jocelyn Conley. I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist, and in this video, I'm gonna guide you through a shoulder blade flow. The goal of this flow is to become familiar with the directions of movement that your shoulder blades go. And we're gonna keep it simple today and just move in single direction motions versus combined. So our shoulder blades can go up, they can go down, they can go in towards one another, they could tip forward and back, they can rotate in and out. And then they can combine, and that's what they do functionally. They do multiples. They can go down and in, up and in, out. They can go tip backwards and rotate upward. So simple today, just single directions. And we're gonna do it in two different positions. We're gonna do it just with our arms by our side. You could be sitting, kneeling, standing, however is comfortable for you. And then we're gonna do it in tabletop position, hands and knees position, and our arms connected with the ground. So it'll be different than when your arms are free. Each motion we're gonna do approximately 1 minute, and the goal is for you to go at your own pace, or you can come along with me. So I'm gonna turn around, and I purposely did not wear a shirt so you could see my shoulder blades. And we're gonna start with bringing our shoulder blades up towards our ears, and then we're not just letting them drop, we're gonna control them down. We're gonna do this for 1 minute. So you're gonna slide your shoulder blades up, trying to just making sure that you're not squeezing up and in or any other direction, just up, hold for 3 seconds, and then control them down. And then again. And then controlling down. I encourage you not to necessarily breathe in as your shoulder blades are rising up. Oftentimes that is a cue during different yoga practices. Not that it's incorrect, it's just one way to do it. And I try to veer people away from breathing with shoulder elevation because it forms a habit to only use your diaphragm a certain way, if that makes sense. So I like to exhale. And then inhale, release. Okay, so moving on to another direction. We're gonna pull down and then bring back up. Now, when you bring your shoulder blades back up, you're not pulling them, you're just letting them return to the starting position. Shoulder blades come down, collarbones go down, and then releasing. Feeling tension or pressure around mid-back. Trying to soften everything else. Really paying attention to what this feels like. You might feel some tension through your neck. And again, maybe exhaling as your shoulder blades slide down, inhaling as they return. The muscles that attach to your shoulder blades are really important when we're talking about the deep core and the outer core, particularly certain muscles, the deepest ones. So if you're not connected with your shoulder blades, but you're connected with your deep core, you might need to work on connecting your upper body and your lower body together. Okay, that is just over a minute. Next, we are going to slide our shoulder blades in, hold, and then control the release. Nice and slowly. Shoulder blades slide in, arms stay soft, hands stay soft, then ease out of it. As you slide your shoulder blades in, maybe exhale. Pause as you hold. Breathe in as you release. Making sure that your back, your mid-back, isn't changing its shape as you pull in or as you release. Making sure you're not shrugging or these upper trap muscles at the top of your shoulders aren't active, they're soft. And release. And then maybe feeling tension or pressure between your shoulder blades. Last one. Isolating shoulder blade motion from spinal motion is tricky, so give yourself some grace and then release. So the next one is a little trickier, and I'm going to show you from the side. So basically, your shoulder blades rest like this on your ribs. We want to tip them back and then control forward, because you know the famous posture, forward head, rolled shoulders. Well, that's just one shoulder blade motion, but that's typically multiple shoulder blade motions together. So we are going to work on reversing that like that. So I'm just going from here to here. And I will, let's see. It's super subtle, but notice you don't see much change in my arm because it's not my arm doing the work. Let me see. I'm going to just face the back because you might be able to see the contour of my muscles as they work, but you won't really see so much motion. So I'm getting in a neutral posture. I'm going to tip back, and then I'm going to release. So whenever you're ready, join me. And then release. This one, for me, I'm super stiff in my pec fascia, super stiff in my pec minors, which attach directly to the ribs. So this is tough for me. And I feel this all along my shoulder blade. When I combine this motion with certain arm positions and motions, I feel a huge opening in my chest. If you don't have the basics of a deep core contraction, this can be really tricky because the deep core helps keep the rib cage connected with your pelvis. And because this fascia and these muscles that open with this motion are connected to the ribs, it needs a counter force to resist against this motion. Otherwise, it's like a seesaw with no one on it. And then release. Okay, moving on into tabletop position. This one might be tricky to see, but you'll notice if we're doing in and out, you'll notice a forward and backward motion of my arms. So the whole idea is if I'm going in, it's just going to be in. Since we're talking about that, let's do that one first. So get in a neutral tabletop position. Your toes can be, I want your toes to be connected here. And then your back is in neutral, not too rounded, not too arched. Your arms are not way pressing into the floor, but they're not hanging either. You're just connected. And we're going to start with sliding our shoulder blades in without letting our back dip, and then relaxing. Or it might even be easier to just gently push your arms or your hands into the floor to return. But if you can just let it go, even better. So sliding in, making sure you're not moving other than that, and then letting go. I like to really breathe in during the relaxation phase. Neck long. Neck position matters because the muscles that attach to the neck also attach. Certain ones also attach to the shoulder blades. So if you're here, you're making it's already impacting the shoulder blade. We want to try to get the muscles in their most neutral position, or we want to work the muscles in our spine in the most neutral position as we can, and then release. Next, we are going to do shrug elevation. So get into a neutral position. Again, you're going to shrug your shoulders up and then let them down. So with this one, the shoulder blades aren't really against gravity. So you might have to put in a little effort so that they go down, but try not to pull them down. If you notice yourself coming out of neutral, just reset. Shrug up, hold. Feeling this in our upper traps. And then release. These are core exercises, believe it or not. Okay, next we're sliding them down. Hold, 3, 2, 1, let it go. So for this one, again, still not really against gravity, but it's a little easier to control the release as you let go of the hold. Target area here might be the back of your armpit region, bottom of the shoulder blade, depending on how hard you're working to keep your spine in neutral. Maybe in your core muscles. Last one. And time. We are going to skip the tilt backwards because it's a little tricky to do that in isolation. In this position, specifically just in double support. So we will cover that some other way in a later guided flow. I thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. If you know someone that can benefit, please share the word and then subscribe so you're notified every time a new video is released. Thank you for watching.